Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 episode 15. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Let's just get right into this review because so much went down in this episode. So at the very beginning of this episode, Drew is filming Kandi and Todd's movie, and listen, she is extremely nervous because she said that she has never done a sex scene before, and then on top of never doing a sex scene, she's never done a sex scene with another woman, and that's what she has to do for this role specifically. Now, Kandi seemed to be a little bit shady and a little bit confused in her confessional as to why Drew was nervous about doing a sex scene with another woman, because clearly Kandi either knows something we don't know, or Kandi feels like Drew has been romantically involved with a woman before. Now, I don't know why it's a big deal and why it's continuously a topic of conversation. Maybe because Drew keeps lying about it. But Kandi and Todd were very pleased with Drew's performance. I think she did a really good job as well. And so even though she was nervous, she was still able to put on for the cameras, and she did a really good job. Now, at this point, Drew and Ralph can't even fake it for the cameras anymore because Ralph ends up showing up while Drew is running lines to supposedly support her. And they try to have a conversation, and she's telling him how excited she is to play this character because she feels really connected to her. And the first thing that Ralph brought up was the fact that she feels connected to the character because the character is a lesbian. Now, I don't know if Drew got upset about this because he said it in front of the cameras or if she's upset about it because it's the truth. But either way, she got really mad that he said that, and she claimed that was not the reason why she felt connected to the character. Now, while they were having a conversation, the sex scene came up, and he was basically talking about it a lot, making a lot of jokes and saying how he wishes he was there to see it. And this really gets on Drew's nerves to the point where she says that she wants him to leave because she feels like he's not really supportive of her craft and that he's basically making a joke about it. So as you can see, the two of them can't even get along in front of the cameras anymore. When the season first started, they were faking it for the cameras. Now they can't even hide the drama that's going on between the two of them. Monyetta ends up showing up to support Kandi and Drew, and she ends up bringing up what went down at Drew's dinner that she had the previous episode where she got everybody together for the mental health retreat. And basically, Monyetta had put Courtney on blast and said that she has video footage of her calling Drew a bitch. Now, Drew was really pissed off when she heard this from Monyetta, and Courtney was denying it, but we saw the clips shown in the episodes, so I don't understand why Courtney is not being truthful. But Monyetta ends up pulling out the video, and she ends up showing it to Drew and Kandi. Now, Kandi says that she doesn't know if Courtney was actually talking about Drew in the video because she points at Sonya when she says the word bitch. But to me, it doesn't really matter if she was talking about Drew or not because it's been clear this whole season that she's not really a fan of Drew. She doesn't really like her because when the other girls are going at Drew, she never defends her and she never tries to comfort her. And when Sonya, Sheree, and Marlo were talking bad about Drew on camera, she was not defending her at all. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter to me who she was talking about when she called them a bitch. Either way, she don't like Drew anyway. Marlo ends up throwing this event to celebrate people who are in the foster care system but ended up being very successful in their lives. And although I think what she's doing is great, for some reason I can't see past her personality. Now, I don't know how she acts in real life. I can only go by what she shows on TV. And from what I was able to see, I just don't feel like she's a genuine person. Now, I could be wrong, but after she made that comment about Kenya's mom rejecting her whole life, I've just had a sour taste in my mouth ever since because I just feel like she hits below the belt a little bit too much. And so for that, I just haven't been able to get past her saying something like that. So although I can admit that what she's doing is great, I still don't really like her. Now, the only people from the group that Marlo ended up inviting to her event was Sonya, Courtney, and Sheree. And Sonya and Courtney showed up on time, and Marlo was really happy about that. But Sheree didn't end up showing up on time, and Marlo was really pissed off for a second because she thought that Sheree wasn't going to come. And I was actually hoping that Sheree wouldn't show up so that I can see if Marlo ends up turning on her because Marlo ends up turning on everybody. And I was just waiting to see their group fall apart. We've seen the cracks in their friendship in the previous episode, but I'm kind of trying to see them crack some more because all season they've been trying to cause drama between the other group of ladies so that their friendship could fall apart, and so now I'm waiting to see theirs fall apart. So at the very end of this episode, Sheree ends up throwing a sip and see so that everybody can finally meet her new granddaughter, Mecca. Now, she went all out for this party. I was starting to think that the party was for her and not for the baby because she was doing a lot. Even her outfit was a lot. She looked good, though. She did look good. But she literally invited everybody to come. She even had her ex-husband, Bob, and her new boyfriend, Martel, there together. And the two of them surprisingly didn't have an awkward encounter. Now, the only person who didn't end up showing up was Marlo, who said that she had a funeral to go to. Things start to get a little bit messy at Sheree's Sip and See because Drew ends up pulling up to the event, but she doesn't end up getting out of her car to go inside because she sees that there's a man in there who she claims assaulted her. So she ends up calling up Candy, and Candy and Magneta end up coming outside to find out why she won't come in, and she tells them the story. She said that she was at either a club or a lounge, and she took her shoes off because she wanted to dance, and this guy, Anthony, took her shoe and he tossed it at her, so she doesn't want to go to Sheree's party because she doesn't want to be around him. Now, Drew doesn't end up coming inside. She ends up leaving, actually, which I don't blame her. I would have left as well. And so Candy goes inside and she tells Sheree what went down. She tells Sheree that Drew didn't want to come in because the guy Anthony was there and apparently he threw a shoe at her. And Anthony comes over there and he starts talking shit about Drew, saying that she owes him money and how he doesn't like her and how he didn't throw a shoe at her first, that she threw a bag at him and that's why he threw a shoe at her. And he's just a really messy person and comes off as a clout chaser. So I'm not really feeling him anyway. And then on top of that, is this the same Anthony who was both an assistant to Sheree at one point and an assistant to Drew at one point, and he was talking shit, spreading rumors about the both of them? Didn't he say that Sheree didn't pay him, and then he started spreading rumors about Drew, saying that Drew didn't pay him either, and talking about Ralph's sexuality? Isn't that the same Anthony? So why would, Sheree want to even have this guy around? And then on top of that, if she knew about the assault situation between him and Drew, why would she invite him and Drew to both be there at the party? That's a really messy thing to do, and I'm side-eyeing the hell out of Sheree right now. Kenya and Martell end up kind of having a little bit of an awkward encounter at Sheree's party because they end up seeing each other, and yes, they were being very friendly with one another despite the fact that the last time they were together, they were yelling at each other and throwing insults around. This time they were being very pleasant, and I don't know if it's because it was the baby's party, but they were cool with each other. But Kenya tried to have a one-on-one conversation with Martell, and Martell absolutely was not having it, which is probably for the best because he probably thought that Kenya was going to spin whatever it was that he said to her during this one-on-one conversation. And so Sheree ends up staying with them while the two of them talk. During this conversation between Kenya and Martell, it was kind of awkward because Kenya was telling him that the only reason why she was raising her voice at him is because he started raising his voice at her, and she felt like she needed to match his energy. She said that she didn't have a man next to her in order to, have her back and help her in that situation, and so that's the reason why she felt like she really needed to defend herself against him the way that she did. Now, he did apologize to her for saying some mean things to her during that conversation, but Kenya was not about to apologize to Martell, and Sheree tried to get her to apologize, but Kenya really didn't do an apology. She told him that she apologizes if she offended him in any way, but that's all she was about to apologize for, and to me, that wasn't an apology. I don't really feel like she owes him an apology, but I don't think that it was right for her to bring up the fact that he had DM'd her before him and Sheree were together, because I don't feel like it was relevant, and she didn't like it when Marlo ended up doing that same thing to her, so I feel like she shouldn't have done it to Sheree. But I'm not a fan of Martell at all, and I honestly don't think that he's genuinely in this relationship with Sheree because he really wants to be with her. I honestly feel like it has to do with clout, because Real Housewives of Atlanta is a more popular show than the one that he's on. Sheree finally ends up bringing her granddaughter out, and she's absolutely adorable, but that baby was ready for this party to be over. She started getting cranky. The baby was falling asleep. That baby wanted all these people out of the house, and she just wanted to sleep. And Sheree went over the top with this party, but I thought that it was really cute. Now, they end up taking a family photo, okay? It's Sheree, her son, her daughter, and then the mother of the baby, and then there was Bob, and Bob ends up pulling this woman into the photo with them, and it's supposed to be a family photo, so everybody's watching this happen, and they're so confused because they're like, why is Bob bringing this woman into the picture. And Sheree notices him bringing this woman into the picture, so she grabs Martel, trying to be petty, trying to add him to the picture because she thought that Bob was trying to add his new girlfriend to the picture. Now, the ladies are questioning Sheree, like, who is this woman that Bob is pulling into your family photo? And Sheree says she doesn't know. She's never met her before, but she told them that that's the reason why she pulled Martel in the photo, because if Bob is going to bring his women into the photo, she's going to bring her man into the photo too. Now, the ladies are over there gossiping about this situation because they're trying to find out who this girl is. And Bob ends up walking by, so Candy calls him over and they start questioning him. And he basically tells them that that's his daughter. Now, this girl looks like she's in like her late 20s to me. So everybody was confused as to how he has this daughter that Sheree never knew about, because when they asked Sheree about it, Sheree said that she's never met this girl before and that she knew that Bob had, 2 children before he got with her, but she didn't know that there was a third somewhere out there. And so it's confusing because Bob also told the ladies that this girl has been around his 2 children that he has with Sheree. So it was just a really messy and confusing situation. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.